utopia, take away the economy from those who rigged it. As I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right wing doom. It's worth it. How to talk to your right wing relatives, friends, and neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the entire United States of America. Good morning to the world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, created by We the People, formerly known as the ARPANET, and now controlled by the wealthy, the plutocrats, the autocrats, the oligarchy. But we're going to take it back. There's a lot happening in the country right now, folks, that we have to be cognizant of. There's a lot happening. We have to keep our eyes open. The drip, drip, drip towards autocracy, the drip, drip, drip to lose your freedom is on. The question is, what are you going to do about it? The question is, will you see it? Will you wait till it's too late? Will you continue to tell yourself this can't happen in America? These are things that happen in other places in the world. These are things that happen in Panama. These are things that happen elsewhere. But before moving on, let's go to the studio where we are presented with the geniuses of Howard Reynolds, Jack Van Bibber, and Mayana. Buenos dias, mis hermanos y hermana. How are you guys doing?
Good morning. Good morning. We're doing good right now. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm doing pretty good.
Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, sir. Talk to me.
All right. Your post this morning kind of tickled me a little bit, so here we go.
Oh,
I think I,
wait. I tickled you. Where was it? A tummy tickle, an armpit tickle? What kind of tickle, man?
no, it was a Celinda Lake tickle.
Oh, I love Celinda Lake. She's great. Anyway, talk to me, brother.
All right. I think I said this last Tuesday. If you're waiting on fascism to arrive, wait no longer. It's here. The corporate oligarchs are the fascists. They're the ones that don't want to care for the people because it hurts their bottom line. What they've done is out-capitalize the people by installing neoliberal economic policies under Reagan, making our elites filthy rich. They have pulled their money to create institutions like the Heritage Foundation and ALEC to engineer a fascist takeover of government. They have successfully corrupted the Supreme Court. The court, in turn, has elevated the corporate over the people by declaring corporations as people with free speech rights, equated free speech as money, which corporations have plenty of, and they've allowed corporations to legally bribe politicians. The corporate fascists have successfully installed an authoritarian President Trump, and now he's squeezing the tax-paying citizens with tariffs, driving up inflation, turn the page, overturning votes, gerrymandering districts in Texas to cement authoritarian control, removal of elected officials, and kidnapping without due process. This is evidence of authoritarian control. People, this is bad.
I love it. I love it. And this we're gonna have to watch, and not watch. We have to start doing something about it. Neil's gonna talk. First of all, today is Neil Aquino Day. Of course, it's Thursday. Neil Aquino is kind with his time. We wake him up early in the mornings to do this, and he's right here. Good morning, Neil. How you doing this morning, my brother?
Good morning, world, local, national, regional audience, and I certainly agree that the authoritarianism is here. I saw they were starting investigations of Adam Schiff in California and Letitia James and the Attorney General of New York. Payback from Trump, and I certainly believe that they do intend to prosecute and take elected officials.
It is a shame, but they'll only do that if we continue to watch them slowly walk up walk, slowly move, and we not do something. All these things are test runs. LA was a test run for what this guy could do in DC. They didn't raise enough hell in LA. Now he comes to DC. They want to take it over. The sycophants in Congress support what he's doing. Look, this is no time to be watching. This is time to call out the judiciary and make the judiciary say, yes, we're going to make him the imperial president. And then after that, we're going to have to, at the ballot box, guys, they're going to stop you from voting, but you're going to have to go in and en masse. This requires the action of the people. So Neil, what's up? What's up for us today?
Well, along those lines, the federal takeover, usually we're all local here, but I think the federal takeover in Washington is local, because that's what they intend for as many cities as they can do. They have some of the structure in place in Washington. A lot of it's federal controlled. They have laws set up where it gives the president some powers. But you saw where Trump has taken over the Washington, D.C. Police Department. That's a 30-day deal. But yesterday he was saying that 30 days wasn't enough. He needed a bill from Congress to enable it to be a much longer time. And then if not, he would declare some type of emergency to perpetually or for a long time take over the federal police. There were protests in Washington. I saw yesterday. There's not enough. There's not enough. There's just not enough. But I think Trump mentioned on Monday, quote unquote, used the word slum clearance, that they want to clear out neighborhoods, bulldoze neighborhoods. And the mayor there has become, she called it an authoritarian push yesterday. She was a little more measured the first day or two. But I think we need, you see in Gaza, they intend to throw everyone out and take the real estate. And you think it can't happen here, but they intend to displace a lot of people, and they want that real estate, and they want their people in cities.
Yeah, they do. And I think we need ultimately a large response. And I'm talking a people powered response. Because what happens here is they're going to continue to divide and conquer. I mean, they're going to, you know, it's easy. I always speak about uh, how racialization of topics is the weak point of America. Because that is, if you take a look at the cities that he decides he wants to take over,
Yeah.
he named them. He named them. And and I think there's a reason why he named them. Each of these cities that he named was actually controlled by a black mayor, and there is this thing in the psyche of many that says the following: he's not coming after me. Let me just be quiet. And if I'm
Right.
quiet, just maybe he won't get to me. I saw on MSNBC a little piece before I came on air. The reality is the crime rate in many cities that are not governed by black mayors
Right.
have a much higher crime rate. In fact, the highest crime rates in this country occurs in red states. The highest crime rates in this country occur in red states. Yet, if you take a look at what the cities that he wants to take over, I don't think uh, he mentions any one of those. It is something that we have to be cognizant of. And to Americans out there, to all of America, you cannot allow that magic, that's to some extent the old styled self preservation of the caveman, the cave person, to work. And that is, well, if we allow him to eat those others, if we allow those others to be sacrificed, then maybe I am okay. Because the fact of the matter is, they're coming for you. All the isms are nothing but tools. The sexism, the racism, the xenophobia, all of those things are tools of division for the few to take things over. And I wish more Americans would understand that. Go ahead and continue, Neil. And folks, the
You know,
telephone
I've
number.
been
Go ahead.
I try to be kind of laissez-faire about not pressing others to be involved. I do my bit, and hopefully I example. But it really is time. It really is time to be engaged. They keep mentioning Chicago and Los Angeles; those are cities with black mayors. You know, my other hometown is Cincinnati, and they had a 3 a.m. brawl.
Welcome to another edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto Willis.
My bad. Go ahead.
They had a 3 a.m. brawl after a music festival. If you're on
I
TikTok,
saw it.
music festival has become
Oh, yes.
a euphemism for protest. But there was actually a music festival in Cincinnati, and there was a brawl at 3 a.m. between some white folks and some black folks. And it seems that the white person threw the first blow. You know, it's 3 a.m. I mean,
They're drunk.
people
Yeah.
really shouldn't be yelling at each other at 3 a.m. But they are, you know, nothing's good is going to come of that, no matter who's there. But they are using that. It's the same playbook. It is the same playbook. It is the same playbook. They are relentless. Cincinnati is about 50-50 white and black, a smaller Hispanic population. And they are using that to say it is crime-ridden, say it is horrible. Senator Moreno, who defeated Sherrod Brown, unfortunately, in 2024, and is all over them. I think the goal is ultimately to take the city charter. And while incumbent Mayor Purville will likely win because it's a 77% Harris voting city, the Republican nominee for mayor is J.D. Vance's half-brother. So if you can believe it, Vance lives in the city. But it's the same playbook in every city. They take a well-publicized incident of crime by black people, and they turn that into saying that the whole city is a criminal hotbed, and they use that to take away your representation, as we're seeing here, take away powers that the city charter gives you. I think that's one thing they want, is to remove city charters. And we're not seeing that here in Houston. From the national administration, what you see here, we're not seeing the federal demonization of Houston, but the message here: relentless crime messaging to get rid of our judges, to get rid of our electeds. It's the same playbook in every city across the country, and they are coming for your rights, your autonomy, your representation. And I urge people to become involved. I really, at this point,
I want to
and
stress.
disruptive.
Yeah, I want to stress the Cincinnati. I think it was Cincinnati issue, because I think people need to understand the mechanics of how it works.
Yeah.
Every day, people get into fights. Every day, people
Right.
attack each other, all that kind of stuff. Hey, we're uh, uh, every every day that happens. What I want to point out is this, folks. The left has to start doing its job. With the videos and stuff that I put out on TikTok, internet, and elsewhere, I try to do it, but this is only one account, one person. I know Neil does a lot of writing about it, but for all the bloggers out there of the progressive persuasion, for all the videographers of the progressive persuasion, we have to do more work. Let me explain something about how Cincinnati occurred. In Cincinnati, there is, it's late at night. People are coming out of a bar, and there's an argument that's going on. There's these white Russian guys that are confronting some black patrons as well, and they get into it. They're arguing, regular arguing that you have drunk people coming out of a bar would do.
Mm-hmm.
And then the white guy punches the black guy, and all hell breaks loose. You get a
Mm-hmm.
brawl, a normal brawl between people. Just some happen to be white, some happen to be black, but it's a brawl. The interesting thing is, if I recall, I didn't hear any racial epithet or anything like that called out in all the videos that I saw. But the way the right wing spun that one event is there are a lot of bloggers and just looking at videos throughout the internet. In other words, if a video comes out on the internet, they're there to see how they can spin that video for the right wing's use. So what
Right.
happens is after the punch, after the white guy punches the black guy punches back, and others start to fight, etc. And you only get the video up until when it seems like the black person is the aggressor, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that video is processed by these right-wing bloggers, they go ahead and immediately throw it onto TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Live Shorts, YouTube Short. They blast it out everywhere. So what shows up on the screen to most Americans, no matter who you're on TikTok, you are on wherever, you see this brawl, and it seems like you have these violent black folk that started this brawl. The cities are going to hell, and that's the impression. It took about 3 days before somebody substantially an influencer that has substantial pull to take that entire video and say, wait a minute, that is not what happened. And then they put it out. But by then, the message of black aggression was out. So there are many people who are not going to see the pushback that should have come immediately when that right-wing blogger used his editing skills to lie about what occurred. That is where the left is severely lacking. The right has people that are paid day in and day out to just scour the internet for things that can give the simulation that the things Trump is doing is warranted, that it is something that needs to be done. The right is great at doing that. And the left doesn't spend time scouring these videos when it occurs, put it out, get mass distribution and all of that. So they go ahead and they change the narrative. It's not a truthful narrative, but it's out there. We have to do better. And how do we do better? And this may be self-serving for KPFT. It may be self-serving for Politics Done Right. It may be self-serving for those of us who see what's going on, but it's imperative. Unless we are supported throughout, unless these bloggers, unless these writers, and Neil, I'm going to throw you into the mix right now. Unless we get the kind of support that allows us to get these videos processed, get all our eyes out there doing these things, we can't match the prowess of what Peter Thiel is doing. He's investing hundreds of millions of dollars in right-wing bloggers, right-wing videographers, folks that are just there scouring the internet to figure out how to create a false narrative. These are things that have to be done by us. We do it on the cheap. Neil does that on the cheap. I do it on the cheap. KPFT do it on the very cheap. But we only, even here at KPFT, I had somebody called in and said, well, KPFT is mostly music. Well, we have talk shows, my show earlier in the morning, Democracy Now, and the show that comes after my show. What's his name? Oh man, I'm got a block there. But yeah, we have to do more. Conversations. Thank you very much, brother. We have to do more. we have to be informing more people because the narrative will get away from us. And what Donald Trump is doing in Washington, D.C. would seem like it's warranted. Before I go to the phones, Neil, anything? Hold on. Welcome aboard, Deborah J., Pete Guard, William Thompson, Pamela Diane Wright, Anthony MX, Bob Helmick, Mary Ann, thank you for being here, Suzette Jensen, Peg Rockel, Margaret Ryan. How you doing, Margaret? Says, where are the progressive bloggers, videographers, and influencers? That's what I'm talking about, Margaret. I am one, Neil is one, but we need so much more. I put out probably 10 TikToks a day promoting these things. Deborah J., welcome aboard. It is so important that we get this done. Bob Reiger, and on the other videos we got Joanne from Los Angeles, California, Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia, Maz Maniac, welcome aboard, Esprit, welcome aboard, The Cheeseburger, welcome aboard, as well as Harry Denson from Missouri City, Texas. Neil, before I go to Tag, what's up?
Yeah, so a few things over that. So everything you said, and then also the old time networks of right wing influence are still there. So in Cincinnati, there's a giant radio station. I won't even give its call letters, but there's a giant radio station that beats this drum and has been doing so forever. I left 30 years ago, 25, 28 years ago, but I'm there about 3 or 4 weeks a year. And the local fraternal order of police has come out against the arrest of some of the white folks involved. They've put out memos saying don't be pressured to their membership into the arrest. It is the same. I was involved in local politics there. I worked for a councilman. I ran for the school board. So it's everything Egberto just said. Old networks are still there, and this is a local story. So we're here to talk about the Houston Democracy Project local coverage. This is the relentless attacks on our judges, the redistricting away of our congressional persons, the moves from the legislature to restrict local autonomy in our lawmaking, to restrict how we can spend our money, to stop the flow. The law that is in place in Texas where police funding can't be cut. Can you believe that? Can you? We have revenue cap, and there's another revenue restriction being debated in the special session. So all of this, if you live in a city in this country, you live in a colony where our resources are extracted. Our bosses are someplace else. Our bosses don't look like the general population of the city. And I want to say that on September 1st, Labor Day, the 50501 folks, they put on the No Kings. They put on a number of demonstrations over the last 6 months. The exact day and exact location and time has not been announced, but they are hoping for 50,000 people. They got 26,000 people back on No Kings Day in mid-June, but there is a large demonstration on Labor Day, September 1st here in Houston, and these are intended for across the country. And then at 9 a.m. at the intersection of Westlake Houston and Kingwood?
The Westlake Houston and Kingwood Drive.
At 9 a.m., there will be a demonstration along these same lines, opposing the redistricting, opposing the authoritarianism in Kingwood by Indivisible Kingwood, which is a great local group. But all of this is connected. The mayor of Piney Point, Eliza, I'm forgetting her last name, but she's running for county judge, Republican county judge, and her treasurer has connections to Elon Musk's networks.
I wrote about
Musk
that.
has spent substantial money influencing judicial races in Texas. All of this is connected, and now really is the time to we need to up our opposition. What Egberto just said, the technical and blogging skills, and then also we need to begin to become disruptive. This isn't. It's time to up the game.
Yeah, all right. Neil, sometimes your mic goes up and down. I think it may be the squelch control in your I think you're using the pod from Apple, right? So we probably
Yes.
will have, we may not be able to do it live, but I think it's mostly when you move your head and that sort of a thing. I think it has to do with the squelch control on that, but we'll talk about after. I want to bring Tag
Okay.
into the system. Tag, come on in.
Morning, everyone.
Good
I
morning,
was
my
just
brother Tag.
thinking about this redistricting issue, which
Yes, sir.
redistricting only works for the Republicans when Democrats do not come out and vote. So if it really doesn't matter how they draw the lines, if the Democrats come out in mass and vote, that blows away redistricting completely, because we have the power of the ballot box as long as we take it in control. Is that correct?
You're let me explain a few things. First of all, in the there is a limit to redistricting. First of all, redistrict. I mean, uh, if you know the pattern of the voting population by the geography of your state, you can do things like pack a particular district to something like, let's say, 90% Democrat and 10% Republican. That's possible. And what that means to do that is you have to empty Democrats out of many other districts that would otherwise be something like 55-45. Okay. Now, here's where it ends, though. If you have a Democratic population that is which is my contention. Texas is not really a 55-45 Republican state. It's more something like in voting, it may look that way, but in reality, Texas is a blue state. But people don't vote. They're not encouraged to vote. Registration is made more difficult than needed to be. And for the lax voter, they just don't vote. If you go to every city, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, that is where the economic activity in the country, in the state, and in the country occurs. In these major cities, we need our farmers and we need all of that. But the economic activity, the wealth of the state is generated in cities. No matter how you put it, that's where it occurs. And the cities, because again of the voting patterns in the city, you get to do exactly what I just spoke about, and that is packed districts. It only works up to a point. Like if let's give an example. To do what they are doing, what they want to do to redistrict, brother Tag, what they're going to have to do is make very Republican districts a little bit less Republican, right? Because what they're going to do is they want to open up some of these districts that they packed a lot of Democrats in. So to unpack those Democratic districts, what they have to do is take some Democrats out of these districts that are a little more marginal to get more people to vote. But guess what happens then? If what you just said occurred, Tag, if more Democrats show up to the poll than what the 2024 election proves or showed, they can actually win those marginal districts, meaning Democrats can now win more seats. And that's the magic. This redistricting will only work. It will only work if we see the same failed voting pattern of Democrats in the last election. But if Democrats vote exactly as you just said, Tag, we will actually not lose seats. We will actually gain seats. And that's why most Texas Republicans, and hear me out, guys, most Texas Republicans are against. If you ask them privately, do you want this redistricting to occur? They'll tell you, hell no, because it put many Republican districts at risk. I can give a perfect example with the interview that we gave to brother John. Help me out, Neil. John, our friend here, District 30. What is this?
In
Anyway,
Rosenberg, John Rosenthal.
uh, John Rosenthal.
Yeah.
John Rosenthal, when he won his district, it was right after redistricting as well. When he won his district, they made that district a +10 Republican district. and Rosenthal won it at +2. It panicked the holy hell out of them. They couldn't get him out of there afterwards because what happens is they make a district and they look at the voting patterns in the district. What you don't know in Texas is whether somebody is Republican or Democrat. You don't know that because the only way to kind of figure out if somebody is a Democrat in this state is if they vote in the primaries. But guess what? A lot of people don't vote in the primaries that come out and vote in the general. So you don't know how that vote is going to go. So let them keep playing. They may actually lose some seats. Anything else, Tag?
Real quick, the mid elections, when there's no president vote,
Right.
Not as many people vote, and Republicans have the reputation of coming out to vote regardless whether there's president or not. So that's
Right.
where Democrats really get hurt, is they don't come out and vote. And the other thing is that when there's so much talk about redistricting, a lot of Democrats will say, what's the sense of me going out and voting? It's not going to count anyway. And we've
You
got to
nailed
get
it.
over that hump.
Look,
we've got to get out and vote regardless of whatever they say.
Let me tell you, when we complain about a lot of folks when Democrats complain, a lot of people say, Democrats always complain against each other. Here's the thing. The thing is the following. Democrats have to the Democratic leadership needs to wake up, but with folks like, let's say, Neil Aquino and other activists out there, to put it bluntly, eventually we're going to say we don't give a hell. Because here's the thing. And I always bring up the Kamala Harris thing. Kamala Harris received from donors $1.2 billion, more than Trump got. But you go into South Park, Texas, you go into every Latino neighborhood, you go into every minority neighborhood, you go to any poor white neighborhood, and look for the activists in those neighborhoods. And by the way, there are activists in those neighborhoods. I've gone into parts of Houston that's a white neighborhood that is very, very poor, that nobody talks to these people. They don't vote. They don't vote. And the question is, where the hell are the investment that Democrats get in with all the money they receive to get those people out and inform them that their votes matter? They don't do it. They don't do it. Neil has blogs that he writes all of the times that talks about all these Congress people and local officials whose coffers are filled with money.
Right.
And none of them are in these neighborhoods going to earn these people's votes. But you know who's
these
there?
Congress people,
Go ahead.
these people complaining about the redistricting, we don't want to lose these seats, and it's terrible what's going on. Al Green, Sylvia Garcia, Sheila Jackson Lee, rest her soul, Mayor Turner, they built nothing. They did not build turnout machines. Congress people across the country, safe Democratic districts, consistently low turnout. Many of these state representatives and state senators who have left the state, low turnout year after year after year. They don't do a thing about it, and it's really upsetting. We really need to press our own folks to do more to generate turnout. If you think how Beto lost 51-48, if we'd had turnout in our districts across the state, we would have won that race.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They turn out because they scare them. The blacks are going to get you. The Latinos are taking over your country. This is happening. And they put fear into our rural brothers and sisters as they screw our rural brothers and sisters. And the ones here in the cities, they don't do the work. And that's why our activism is actually having to make up for what these clowns don't do. Tag, I got to move on. Anything else you want to say, my brother?
Yep, we've got to make our own way, and I hope everybody has a great day. See you guys.
Thank you, brother. All right, let's go to
We
Bruce.
do have
Come
to
on
make
in,
our
Bruce.
own way. That's right. That's right.
He's right. Bruce, come on in.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Bruce.
morning. Yeah, you touched on my subject I was going to call in about, so I'm going to pivot. When Trump's people are going into the Smithsonian Institute, and I'm going to sound facetious, but I'm serious, they're probably going to put a placard up saying, while immigrants from all over the world want to come here, there was a time in history when we actually gave free boat rides and job training to black immigrants. You can expect that. And I'm in a poor neighborhood, and he's right. Nobody votes. They all say the same thing. Well, it doesn't matter. They're all crooks. All right. Do I have time to tell you why Christy Nome and her family hate dogs?
Please do it real quickly, but do it, brother.
Yeah, her great-grandmother, I know this is true because I made it up, her great-grandmother was American Indian. And when she was a little girl, she put her moccasins on, walked across the frozen ground to the elders' teepee, and said, can I ask you why or how you come up with our names? So they said, well, when your brother was born, a majestic bird was flying overhead, so we named him Soaring Eagle. When your sister was born, there were bluebirds singing, so we named her Little Bluebird. But why do you ask such a question, Two Dogs Humping?
Lord,
I'm done.
Lord. Bruce. You never fail to amuse me. Thank you, brother. Let's go to Moses. Moses, my sister Moses, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you, my brother?
I am doing fine, sister. Talk to me.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let me say one thing. Remember, America, Earth, do not be afraid. Do not fear what you see Donald Trump and all his people are doing. This battle is between God and Satan at the entrance of this 21st century. God does not fight the way man fights. His battle movements are always higher than that of the warmongers. Believe that. Man can bring the mountains into the middle of the sea. But the battle of God is always decisive and victorious. Then, from generation, all the rebellious ones are brought down to the end. They come to the end. Think of all of them that have come. Hitler, all of them do, all of the must they do. All they have been down into the pit, and they are gone, and the earth continues as God wants it. Next, finally, the veil that is on the eyes of the people is being pulled off, and people are beginning to see the truth. They are beginning to see the truth. And let me say that for the people who call themselves Christians, who engendered part of this mess that we are going through. Remember, the Jesus that you believe in, he said to you, go back to the prophets. Go and speak to Daniel. Go and speak to Malachi. Go and speak to Obadiah. And straighten yourselves up and find the guts to say, we have sinned, we have done this evil. And if you can find the guts, maybe, and it's not maybe, for the battle is God's, and he will always be victorious. Go forward, America. Go forward, Earth. The battle behind your back belongs to God, and he's always victorious against Satan and his multitude.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you, sister. Thank you very much. Let me just say one thing that I want to highlight from Moses. When this is all over, when we get out of this funk, when we get out of this evil state that we're currently in, and I say this dearly to my evangelical Christians supporting all these wayward, ungodly, unchristian-like things. Your church, I guarantee you, when people get out of their funk, they're going to ask the leaders of those churches, how did you allow us to go there? We simply were following our pastor. We were following the shepherd. Look, I am not a Christian anymore. I grew up a Christian. I left Christianity when when the church that I was in refused to support an act that I had with the liberation of South Africa back in my college days. At that point, I realized that organized religion, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, was nothing more than, well, you know what, I won't say that. But that's when I left. But I do respect all those that remain in the church, in the good churches, that is, the churches that support humanity. But I tell you, brothers and sisters, including the one that have allowed themselves to be run by pastors that have been doing quite some evil over the last several years of the Trump administration. Your pastors, first of all, will atone, because many of you will wake up and see the light and leave them holding the bag. I can't wait for it to occur, because it's essential for us to continue as the nation we think we are. Jimmy, come on in. Oh, go ahead, Neil.
Well, actually, and I've been thinking, I've been reading a history of the United
Hold on
States
a second,
from,
Jimmy. Let Neil finish. Go ahead, Neil.
I've been reading a history of the United States from 1848 to 1877, and sort of along the lines, when this is done, when we prevail, there has to be accountability. We can't
Absolutely.
be in some mode of forgiveness. It is, there's nothing more painful than to read about the immediate years after after the Civil War, and how
And the
the
failed
slave owners got
reconstruction.
everything
Yeah.
back. It's
Hmm.
intensely painful to read, and we have to be preparing for what comes after. And I won't be in any forgiveness.
No, it's not going to be about forgiveness. All of those who are doing wrong, all of those who are putting humanity on the wrong side, you will
Yeah,
atone. And I'm talking from leadership to people. Go ahead, Jimmy.
we cannot allow our young people to coexist with this for the rest of their lives again.
Absolutely not. Come on in, Jimmy.
The best thing we can do for America and for the world is to offer free tuition in public colleges. Or more educated people make smarter decisions. 7 countries in Europe have free universities. Bernie Sanders was on Stephen Colbert last night talking about the advantage of that. Eisenhower talked about all this money we spend on the military would be better spent on colleges and high schools. We currently offer free education through the 12th grade in high school. We could add 4 more years of college, and that would benefit not only the USA, but the best world, the whole world. Educated people make better decisions, smarter decisions. They start businesses, so they hire people. And we also can get our public universities like Texas A&M, University of Texas, to offer more scholarships. A lot of our universities have gotten too expensive, and we need to bring that price down to make it available to more of our young people. That's what we need to do to really improve our country and the world.
Jimmy, first of all, thank you very much. You're absolutely right. We have a whole lot of stuff that we can do and that we need to do, and that is absolutely one of them. You have a wonderful rest of your day, my brother. My phones are loaded. Got to get to these calls, but thank you for your input, sir.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Derek. Come on in, Derek.
All right, good morning, everybody. Alberto and Neil, I got to say this because, you know, I think it was Neil that said that Al Green and all of them there did not produce more voters. But I got to tell y'all the truth. There's a universal law called the law of cause and effect. Was it them who didn't produce the voters, or was it the DNC? DNC, you have been taking the black community for granted for quite some time. Now, what the truth of the matter is that you done produced what is called voter apathy. Now you got people who've been saying under their breath, and now they're saying loudly, you all taking us for granted. You've been taking us for granted. Now, all of a sudden, all the time, oh, it's the black people that's not coming out voting. But when the black folks did come out and vote, when did you ever go to the black radio stations, the black talk shows, and do these voter commercials? But you go running over there to Fox, the AM stations on the white stations and give them all the dollars, advertising dollars, but you do nothing for the black community.
Brother Derek, can I interrupt a second? Brother Derek, let me interrupt for 1 second, because first of all, you're correct about these different communities being used. 100% correct. And I think that is what both myself and Neil are talking to. The thing about it is, each of those Congress people that Neil mentioned, uh, we should they should be actively challenging, just as you said, the DNC and others, do not leave my community
Yes,
behind. And that's what they should have been
yes.
doing. Again, two things can be true at the same time. And I think that is a call out. The call out is, we don't want Sylvia Garcia or Brother Green sitting down in their chair because they know they have a sure win. We want them to be activating their
Yes.
populations. We want them to be having barbecues. We want them to be having all these things that they do here in Kingwood. In Kingwood, these Congress people activate the community. They are doing things in the community throughout. I was speaking to former Mayor Anise Parker the other day, and she said, when the one thing,
Hmm.
remember, she said, and whether you like her or not is not the issue, right? The issue is, when she was in power,
Right.
she said she made sure every single month to have an event throughout the city and make sure that the people know that she was there to talk to them. These are things that people have to do to activate. I can say that is happening in the Kingwood area. These Congress people activate their base. To hell with their parties. They come and they
Every dealing
activate
with
their
them.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying,
I agree
brother?
with
This is
Derek.
But
a
I agree
very
with Derek 100%, and
weary
it's a
yeah.
damn
people.
shame. We've counted on
Go
these
ahead, Neil.
voters for. We've
Neil, go
counted
ahead.
Derek. I mean, both things, just as you say. We have counted on the Democratic Party has counted on black voters, and you can't blame people for not showing up in some respects. You look how our cities have been neglected. Trump is taking advantage of the Democratic
Yes,
Party
sir.
mismanagement of cities and the taking of granted of these voters, and now he's swooping
Okay.
in like a
Thank you.
vulture.
Yes, sir, Neil.
Thank you,
Yes,
Derek.
sir.
Derek, I got my phones
Thank
are
y'all.
filling up, Derek. I thank you so kindly for your thought
Thank y'all.
process, brother. Let's go to
Thank you.
Margaret. Come on in, Margaret.
Hello.
Margaret, you're on. Yes, you're on, Margaret.
So
Margaret?
this is
Yes.
Margaret TJ.
Yeah, go ahead,
Margaret.
Margaret.
Well, okay. So this is Margaret KJ, Chesapeake, Virginia, and in my 66 years, black people have always been there, especially women, for the Democrats. It's now up to all the white people. The white people got to get out there and support all these communities that are going to be ripped up because of Trump. Trump doesn't care about America. Trump cares about power. The people are going to have to be the ones who show all these other people that have been there for the communities, been there for their poor people, been there for the poor white people, which, by the way, there are more poor white people right now than there are anything. So the white people got to get out there and support everybody and anything that has to do with what Trump is doing, because he doesn't think the white people are going to do that. So I love your program, Egberto. You have a great day.
Thank you very much, Margaret. And let me just say this. Margaret is absolutely right. I have these other calls I got to do, but I must say this. Let me tell you something. There's a piece that I'm gonna probably play this afternoon. There's this guy talking about white supremacy and the racism that is used to divide people in this country affects white people more so than it does anybody else. And he gives that example so perfectly. Margaret, what Margaret says has a whole lot of merit, but I don't know if she understands how profound it actually is. And to my white brothers and sisters out there, if you check out, I'll try to put it on the program this afternoon. There's a piece by a TikToker that I wanted to run into the screen and give him a big hug, because he showed exactly what's being done to the white psyche using, imagine, to the white psyche using skin color as that really means nothing, but that has been weaponized to for folks to take power away from all of us. All right, let's
And
go to
white men,
Brian.
all this work is being
Yeah,
done.
go
All
ahead.
this work is being done by women. So, and I'm in all these activist circles. It is 80% women. We have a lot of white men callers here, white men really need to step up very, very quickly.
Thank you, brother. Let's go to Brian. Come on in, Brian.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I need to follow up on the question I had yesterday about the border wall between Gaza Strip and Egypt. You said it's non-existent, or I claim that,
No, I
it's
didn't.
not
I didn't.
there.
No. Look. I'm saying that is not a part of the discussion. I'm saying I am not going to allow a wall between Egypt or whatever to move the discussion from what it needs to be in Gaza, and that is Israel and the IDF conducting a genocide. All these other side issues I won't entertain. Anything else, sir?
Did you watch the fall of Minneapolis on YouTube?
Okay. Thank you, brother. I got to go to Bard. Come on in, Bard. Brian is not being serious. Bard, come on in. All right, hang up on Bard. Let's go to Coach AJ. Come on in, Coach.
Hey, Roberto. Hey, real quick, I know you got a lot of callers, so.
Oh, actually, believe it or not, by Bard and Bard and and Brian not here again, we're okay. So go ahead, brother.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. So we had a meeting up here in Humble, and I keep saying the same thing. We need to bring in the millennials, starting with the high school kids. But we need to have events. Like, they do a good job of having events.
Yes.
But they need to have events that target young people to get them out there to be able to make a good relationship with them. I've been saying this for over a year. I had partnered with people who brought a voting project into one of the school districts out this way. Not Humble, but out this way. And they brought in voting booths so the kids can understand the process. They put it in their social studies classes. They also gave them an opportunity to work the polls. So if you're 16 and over, you can work the polls. Don't forget, our high school kids also have to do community service hours to get out of school. So it works both ways. They get credit for community service hours, and also they make a little bit of money. And it could be a career path for them at some point. You never know. But we have to have strategic opportunities of education along with socialization to bring those kids in. And I've been saying this for a while. Now, I've just been doing things on my own because the same people that keep running these organizations talk about the same thing all the time. But they got the money. To me, right, one more thing, please. The 18th Congressional District will be a runoff because of so many people. So I'm supporting Christian Menifee for a number of reasons. But here's the thing. If he makes the runoff and whoever wins, everybody that voted for that people, they have to say, listen, we're going to support whoever wins the 18th Congressional District, and they got to beat the Republicans.
I mean, I am 100% with you. And first of all, Coach, I want to tell you one thing. Thank you. Neil and I are activists out there. And when we find activists like you, we actually want to work in concert with you. Notice what I said, in concert with you. We want to know what it is that you're doing and what we can learn from you to enhance what we're doing. Because that is how we build. So you stay in touch, brother, all right?
We find activists like you.
All right, let's go to Margaret. Come on in, Margaret. Another Margaret. Come on in, Margaret.
Good morning. I just want to add, for those who are listening and on Substack and all other modes of media, join an indivisible group throughout the U.S. in the states and cities where you are. I am on a committee to reach rural America and taking forums. We could use all the people. You all have something to contribute. We need to do this now to get messages out of how people will be affected by what their congressmen are doing. So I just want to put that out there to join and look for indivisible movements committees. You can also protest. We still need to protest, and just one foot in front of the other, and there's no time to rest. And I thank you for your time, Eduardo.
Margaret, first of all, thank you so kindly for what you do. I've been following your messages on Indivisible here, even on Substack, etc. Thank you for what you're doing. We can't do this without everybody, and you're a part of it. You have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
You as well. Thank you.
All right, take care. Hey, I see in our Substack, Marianne Castiglia. How you doing, Marianne? By the way, Marianne, the camera's still working great. Thanks for being here, Marianne. Okay, Neil, give me a closer. We're right up to at the time. And studio, I'm going to be coming to you right after Neil. Come on in, Neil. Give me a closer.
Great. Margaret's call. The local individual chapters are volunteer led. They really have a lot of autonomy. They're not Democratic Party spaces. They are consistently doing good work. There's Indivisible Katy, Fort Bend, Kingwood, and others here in town. Houston Democracy Project, HoustonDemocracyProject.com. And the First Amendment is your permit. The next action is when you organize it.
Okay, before I go to the studio, Bobby, 15, 20 seconds. Come on in, Bobby, real quick.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. I think it's been almost 250 years now that we're trying to, work on getting our government, everything together. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's been 250 years and we're still arguing about little petty stuff about how to take care of people. We're just not going to get it together. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, Bobby. 250 years is a small time in the life of empires, etc. So I don't think you need to worry about it. Let me throw it to the studio.
Politics from the pulpit. Remember, a separation of church and state?
We should remember that. And not only that, if you're going to try to do politics from the pulpit, you should at least make it be moral and Christian if you're a Christian, or follow the rules of Islam if you're a Muslim, or follow the rules of, if you're Hindu, if you're whatever, you should follow the rules. And each one of these religions have good things in them. Mayana, you have anything you want to tell us before I go?
Yeah, just that I agree with Jimmy about the free education, but we got to teach the truth so people can learn what actually happened and begin to have empathy and sympathy and compassion for a lot of people of color and the things that they have gone through. Because we have a false history, we don't have that.
Thank you so kindly. Folks, love you all. And I mean that from the depths of my heart. Remember, HoustonDemocracyProject.com. That's Neil's organization. We need to make sure and see what he has to offer. By the way, the rest of the program is at politicsandright.com/newsletter, politicsandright.com/newsletters. You can email me at kpft@politicsandright.com. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics and Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
Planet, good news. It's time now for your good news for a good planet. The Blessing Box. As our country and our culture can feel so divided, little magic boxes are showing up all over that inspire neighborliness, generosity, and a sense of belonging wherever they appear. They are blessing boxes, outdoor public cupboards stocked with donated food, toiletries,